Welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup. I hope you had a wonderful week. Hope you are getting ready for a wonderful weekend. And I hope you are ready for the news. Of course, you can catch the show live Fridays, 8 p.m. Eastern at Standard Time. See all of the weird updates throughout the week. I mean, this week's been weird. I picked up a phone addiction. I don't have all the phones handy right now, but you know, we got a couple available devices here. You can hear that good story from last week. I need help. Please help. But I also got some good deals on printers, computer, all sorts of fun stuff. But anyway, we've got some good videos coming out soon. Stay tuned for those. But anyway, let's get into the news, because that's why you're here on the edited version. First up, Elon Musk has actually had a $1.8 billion secret contract with the government to do a low-orbit spy satellite network. Great! How wonderful. They allege that the main purpose here is that they could literally just spot anybody on Earth if they just step outside. Great. I guess I might be carrying an umbrella for the rest of my life. Then, of course, they'll target me. It's the guy who's always behind the umbrella, you know. Basically, he did some work. Now, this was with the National Reconnaissance Office, an intelligence agency that manages spy satellites. So, effectively, the idea here is that Elon Musk is going to be putting up a bunch of satellites into space. And then with all these satellites, they'll be able to have this spy network where they can locate individual people to invite to a birthday party from far, far above with a drone. But that is really what's going on. So it begs some interesting questions, of course. Musk is an interesting character on this. Of course, on the front end, on the one end, he's like, you know, the evil guy because of what he did with changing Twitter around. But then on the other hand, he's out doing this kind of stuff. So it's like, you know, it's weird. This is why I'm not a huge fan of the guy. I think he's doing some decent things, but he's still an agent of government and big business. So it still raises some serious concerns and some serious questions. So that is what Elon Musk is up to, but we'll see what's going on with that in the future. Maybe, maybe not. Glassdoor added real names to their user profiles without their consent. Originally, I wasn't sure if I should put this in privacy or business, but it ends up being a privacy article. Primarily, of course, Glassdoor, if you're unaware of it, Glassdoor is a online application where you're supposed to be able to get transparent information about companies because the employees post to it anonymously. And because the employees are posting anonymously, they are going to be allegedly more forthcoming with the details about how it truly is to work with a company. So this person apparently had some issue and emailed support about the issue. And of course, the email client attached the name to the email somewhere. Not that she didn't sign her name with it. It wasn't necessarily in the signature. It's just when you set up your line, you set up your email, it says, you know, who's this from? And you enter your name. That name will show up as from the from line on many email clients. So she emails support and doesn't include it in the body of the email, but the email header had that in there. And they're like, oh, well, this is missing from the profile. So they took that information from the private email and augmented her policy with it, her account with it. And then they posted the account in there. Now, they did not post the names on the front end where a company could see the information. But what her allegement is number one, I'm worried about hacking. I did not give you my name because I do not want my name included there. And so with that, they said, we also are concerned if somebody gets in there and hacks it. We're concerned if an employee goes rogue and sells the data. I mean, what if one of these companies says, hey, I want to know all these people that are writing about us. Here's $5,000 to this first customer support agent that'll do it. Do you really think some employee at Glassdoor is going to turn down $5,000 to de-anonymize all of the people smack talking about some company? Of course they're going to do that. I mean, that guy just pled guilty to the SIM swapping. He was only taking $1,000 per SIM that he swapped for the scammers. So, you know, it's very easy to do that. And so what they are saying is that in digging deeper, Glassdoor is going to augment your profile with any other information they find anywhere on the internet that they can confirmedly tie back to you, which means if they're buying information from data brokers or anything else, they can come in and they can go ahead and add that data to your profile. And even though they're not necessarily publishing it, they are still beefing up that profile. So if they go to sell the data, if they are acquired by another company, or if they happen to suffer a data breach, that data, which was not initially supplied by the person, is now breached inside of that. And I think this is a serious problem. So be careful. Even on anonymous pages, they might still be trying to seek who you are. Very fascinating indeed. And our last article under privacy, Mozilla, as part of its layoffs, of course, they brought in the Axe, the new interim CEO. I'm not sure, should an interim CEO be doing all of this? Although there is a little bit more nuance in this. So Mozilla has a privacy-friendly location service that is used, including a number of apps like GeoClue, which provides anonymous location data to a variety of different apps. This is the Mozilla Location Service, or MLS. Not to be mistaken with the MLS from the multi-listing service from real estate agents. But new API access keys are not going to be working after late March. They're going to stop in June 12th. All data will be removed, and the only data accessible will be accessible by Mozilla. Now, this is not just because of the cuts to Mozilla. This actually has to do with the way they're collecting data. A patent infringement case from 2019 that it didn't force them to shut it down necessarily, but it did force them from doing anything to cause a commercial investment. And so it makes sense that they would spin this down. So now services that were relying on this are going to have to look for other ways. Now, GeoClue is this. This is the location framework used by GNOME Maps and GNOME Weather. Basically, GNOME services calling for a location are using GeoClue. Mozilla's was not the only location marker in there, so it doesn't seriously hurt those particular applications, but it could possibly negatively impact some other applications as well. So it's not all just because, we got to lay people off. A lot of it does have to do with the patent infringement case from 2019. And so there certainly is some in there. So that is what is up with Mozilla, if you've heard about that. Now we're going to move on over to security news next. And first up, of course, disabling cyber attacks are hitting critical water systems, the White House warns. So it begs this question, what are you going to do if the water stops working? Hey, I'm generally good for most of the time. I have about 10 to 12, I think probably closer to 12 to 13 gallons of water here. So if I run low and have to refill somewhere, but otherwise I'm not dependent on the water flow working on a point in time for my water. Suck it, non-van dwellers. But that being said, I could be more dependent on the circumstances down the road. Now, what's going on here is nation states are seeking ways to impact critical structures. So it is alleged by some that the AT&T outage was a hack, although they say, no, it was a botched update. We don't know. We know that they're trying to get into the power grids. We know that they're trying to get into the water grids. And so what's going on here is they're getting into insecure water grids because these people are relying on IT, but they don't have an IT staff, and they're putting in stuff that says, wow, this works, but they never changed the default administrative password. And so hackers are getting in there, messing with things. In one case, I was actually in church with a guy in, I think it was in Texas, and I was sitting next to a guy in church that used to work at a water plant. I think he said it's either his friend or his brother still does. And he said at one point in time, they were impacted by the case. I think we talked about it a few years ago, where the hackers got in and twisted something and caused more chlorine to go into the water. Well, that can be toxic if it gets out. And so there are some serious consequences of hackers getting in and messing around with the critical infrastructure. So we have to be careful about that type of stuff as we look on to what else is coming on down the road. All right, so next up, Chrome security is going to get beefed up. Now, this is like this fluff piece of insanity. And by the way, as I set up this Windows computer, really highly suggests to sign in with your face or your fingerprint. No, thank you. I will pass. But what they're trying to do, of course, the face, the fingerprint, and even the PIN system on Windows is part of Windows Hello, which is a different way of logging into Windows than just simply using a password. So if you are using Windows Hello and you are using Chrome, pretty soon Google is going to disable the ability to use your password on Windows. You are going to have to use Windows Hello. You are not going to have a choice. It's going to force you to use the passkey system instead of a password because, of course, we have to look for every possible way to remove passwords from society because 4-digit PINs are infinitely more secure than a complicated password. Now, mind you, it's not just the PIN. Okay, it's not like I understand it's not just the PIN. The PIN unlocks the passkey system on the TPM on the board. That's why it is more secure in this perspective because it's not just the PIN. They have to have the PIN and that particular machine. The downside is if your TPM module goes bad, oh, crap. I hope you know how to get into those accounts. So to be clear, if you do not use Windows Hello, you will still have the option of using the password to log into your Google account. But if you do have Windows Hello, they are removing the option to use a password. You are going to be forced to use the Windows Hello passkey system on Google Chrome. Isn't that nice of them? So, New Dialog doesn't offer any other verification options, so you are forced to use Windows Hello. This is look at this fluffies. This is a welcome addition since it requires unauthorized users to know your PIN as well or to use the biometric authentication. This is not welcome. This is removal of choice. And if I choose not to use passkeys, it should be my choice not to use passkeys. If that means I have an insecure account, well, I have to deal with the consequences of my decisions. But that is certainly the case. So, of course, there you go, man. Somebody gets into your machine. They know your PIN number, which, by the way, if I think that this might actually be less secure than a complicated password because if you're in close proximity to somebody, it is easier for them to figure out what your 4-digit PIN is than it is a complicated password. If they are a person in close proximity to your computer, like the evil coworker in the cube next to you. That guy sitting over there holding that red stapler and mumbling something about squirrels, right? So if he's really out there trying to be nefarious, it is easier for him to figure out what your PIN number is than it is a complicated password. So I wager this is less secure in a close environment space, although it is certainly more secure in a more global world where a hacker could try the passwords combinations, but still I am for the password for as long as conceivably possible. So that is what they are doing, and they're just kind of pushing that up. Oh my God, it's the best thing ever. Your butt is so amazing. Windows. So that is what they are up to. Well, if you want to help support the channel, we do use affiliates. Today we are highlighting Mint Mobile. Of course, I've been using Mint Mobile now for, I think, close to 4 or 5 years. And got to throw this one back in the rotation because my plan just updated, so I need more Mint Mobile credits. This is truly what I use for my cell phone. Of course, traveling around the country, I've had no major issues with it. And you can get 5 gigabyte plan for as low as $15 per month, all the way up to unlimited. And it also says $15 per month. This must be the promo there. But what you can basically do is the more you buy up front, the cheaper it gets. So what I do is I buy the full year at a time. So I just bought my plan. It cost, I think, $180, I think is what it cost me. And I don't have to worry about my cell phone bill until March of 2025. Okay, it cost me $180, not per month, per year. And I paid it for it once. I don't have to worry about my phone number for the next year. That's how Mint Mobile works. So you can sign up there, tlm.li/mm for Mint Mobile, and that will give you what you need for getting into a better, cheaper cell phone plan that is still going to work well. With that, let's head on over to AI Overlords to see what our AI Overlords are up to right now. Oh, apparently a timeout had occurred on the server. Let's go ahead and reload that. Oh, YouTube now requires creators to disclose when AI-generated content is used in videos. I think this is a positive push. Of course, for those of us who are YouTube creators, Fresh Vintage just texted me that he just got it today. I've gotten it yesterday for the video I did yesterday, and then today's videos I got it as well. So there's a new setting inside your YouTube channel where when you are uploading a video, you have to say if the AI was utilized. Now, you do not have to disclose if AI is used to write your script or to edit your script. And I think for anything that is clearly not realistic, if using AI to put in animated rocket fuel for an animated rocket shooting into space, you don't need to use AI for that. They're mostly concerned that you're disclosing AI in the case of anything that looks realistic. There's 3 conditions here. And fortunately, Fresh Vintage just texted me that, so I can actually read from my phone what those options were. So the conditions are: does it make a real person appear to say something they didn't say, alters footage of a real place or event, or generates a realistic looking scene that did not actually occur. So if you have any of those, then you're supposed to mark it. And in theory, we will get a warning, kind of like if we are doing a promo in a video, like we did the Mint Mobile. I'll toggle the button in there that says, yes, there's promotional material, and you'll get a little thing at the start of the video saying includes paid promotions or something. Now, I would like them to see as this go a step further, especially with this and with shorts. I would love to see a setting in my user portion of YouTube that says, I don't want to see anything that's user generated. Don't even recommend it to me. I would love to see the same thing with shorts. Don't recommend me shorts. I'm not interested. Okay. I do not have the attention span of Dory the goldfish. I do not want to watch shorts. Now, fortunately, I use a plugin that completely removes shorts off of my YouTube view page. So that's what I do to handle it on Brave. But I do stand behind this. I think this is a good thing because it's good. Now, as long as, of course, people are actually following the policy, I am not interested in them being like, we're going to take your channel down because you falsely flagged this kind of stuff. I'm a Luddite. I'm going to push against AI as long as conceivably possible until Arnold Schwarzenegger comes in himself and says, come with me if you want to live. I'm going to resist AI until that time. Okay. So that's me personally. All right. And onto our last one under the AI. Google is now releasing an AI chatbot to basically act as your AI fitness coach. Now, of course, remember that Google bought Fitbit. And of course, it's utilizing this data against you. Google does offer its data to paid people, including, insurance companies. And wouldn't the insurance company really like to have a device, all of the raw data from a device you wear on your wrist, so it knows how much exercise you're getting and how much sleep you're getting and all these fun factors? Well, now they're going to one-up it, and they're going to give you a AI chatbot that you can have dialogue and discussion about to push you into having better exercise routines. Isn't this so wonderful? So now the insurance company will have information about what it was suggested you did that you didn't actually do, because an AI chatbot is not going to tell you to put down that cookie and go take a run any more than your own motivation is going to. So now they'll have more evidence that you're intentionally neglecting your health, not accidentally. So certainly don't stand behind this. But that is really their idea. Is the tech giant said it is to deliver personalized insights on how your fitness journey is going. Can we stop talking like that, please? It's the fitness journey. What do you want, on the quest for the sacred cookie? That's my fitness journey. It's like that scene when that one old Full House and DJ's, upset at her fat stomach and throws the cookies away, and Kimmy Gibbler comes in. She's all super thin. It's like, how do you stay shape? Well, I do my exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I watch what I eat. This cookie looks good, and so you get that kind of stuff going. All right, I'm off in left field. All right. Fitbit AI will also create charts to help people understand their own data better. An example, the chatbot responses are going to display Fitbit's active zone minutes alongside the average sleep counter. Oh, all that's useful stuff, right for the insurance company to see, right in the same spot. Very good. Very good, AI bot. keep working against that sheep wearing it. There's Pam Popper over at Health Wellness Forum is selling t-shirts that called "We Are in Deep Sheep." I got to get me one of those. They sound great. But anyway, that is what is going on under AI news. And with that, let's head on over to business news next. First up in business news, we will have another edition of Microsoft Office, the standalone, without being forced onto the subscription plan. Although they really want everybody on the subscription plan. And these standalones are really for those very odd, very weird, very niche cases where you might actually have to use something like this, but you should probably also have the subscription too. And they did actually tell us in this that, yes, there will be at least one more version. It's kind of like Princess Bride, right? I watched that last week as I was cleaning my computer out. Okay, very good work today, Wesley. I'll most likely kill you in the morning. I think that's literally what Microsoft is doing here. They're literally like, you'll have one more version. We'll most likely kill you after the next one. But they did say in their official release announcement, if you go and look at it on Microsoft, they will have the Office 2024, and then they will also have one more after that, maybe 2027, I don't know, 2028, 2020, Jesus coming back in the clouds, who knows. But with this, the consumer price point is staying the same, but they are raising the business price point by 10%. I think what they're trying to do is get businesses off of this one and onto the subscription, because I think right now the majority of people still utilizing the standalone Office application are businesses, and so they're going to be jacking them around by drastically increasing the costs over the next couple releases, then to the point where it's like, let's just go ahead and get the subscription service, because, we have to perpetually pay for our software forever, or we can just switch to Linux and use better software, and just pay what we can to the developers when we have the ability. They, of course, are calling it Microsoft 365 Office, but it is still the standalone, and it does come with a couple extra changes. They said they're not going to have any AI in it, but they are doing some of the adjustments and changes to some of the better features that are being used in the Office 365 now. So those are getting rolled out. But we will have at least one more version of this. But guys, LibreOffice. LibreOffice, and no, the anime avatars are not correct. The docx file format is not the real one. The ODT is. That is the official open source. So as long as your application works with the official open source, you can use it. LibreOffice, OpenOffice. OnlyOffice does not work with the open source forms, and it is scary in and of itself. I'll have a video about that soon. But Office 2024 will be a standalone release. All right, the rest of this relates to you poor Mac users. If you're sitting there like, okay, this is the weekend, I'm going to finally push that update to Mac Sonoma 14.4. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It has done everything bad you can possibly think of. It did nuke all of your documents in iCloud. Now, it did preserve them on your actual computer. It just nuked them out of the cloud. How they did that, I don't know. You might want to at least make a off-site backup of all of your data onto physical hard drives you have access to if you're trying to do this. But you might have a hard time with it because the update also does funny things like breaking USB hubs, taking down printers, and a bunch of other weird, nefarious gremlin-like activity in between there as well. So you do actually have a number of serious problems inside of the latest Mac OS 14.4 bug version. So just be very aware if you've not updated to 14.4 yet. You might want to hold off for a while. Maybe wait until 14.5. Wait until this nonsense blows over, and then wait for a number of people and make sure the same thing doesn't happen over there. That's kind of crazy. And our last story here is the U.S. sues Apple for an illegal monopoly over smartphones. This effectively, looking through it, is the US version of the EU laws that force them to allow sideloading of apps. It forced them to give users some choice and provide better, easier tools to migrate out of the Apple ecosystem if one wants to do that, because it is very difficult to get out of the Apple ecosystem. It's hard to get out of the Android ecosystem, but it's at least possible with the tools they provide for you. Microsoft, I don't know, but I presume it should be fairly easy. But again, I don't know for sure. You should probably switch those to Nextcloud. We'll be having a video coming up very shortly about that, so keep an eye out for that. But in this, it boils down to a couple of things that they declare as the illegal monopoly. Number one is they are stopping super apps. Remember that Elon Musk wanted to make a super app that basically is the Elon Musk version of the thing that they have in like China, where one app is your news and your payment wallet and everything. You know, the very one thing I would not want on my device. It sounds to me like it's too big of a hack target, but you can't use any apps that have multiple functions. You also can't use an app that utilizes a function that Apple itself manages. And so what they're trying to do is get rid of those options to make certain that people can use what they want to use. They are also blocking cloud streaming apps for things like video games that would lower the need for more expensive hardware. So anything that goes out and does extra streaming stuff, you can't use those. Suppressing the quality of messaging between the iPhone and the competing platforms. So, you know my views about the foolishness of the bubbles. But Fresh Vintage said this fascinating thing. Why doesn't Apple just release an iMessage app in the Android store for like $2 and they'd make a killing? Because everybody wants that coveted, did we say it was a blue button? Oh my God, I got the blue button. Lord help us. But to his point, that is true. If they simply released an app to allow Android users to use iMessage, that would be absolutely amazing and might stave off part of this lawsuit. Limiting functionality of third-party smartwatches with the iPhone, making it harder for Apple Watch users to switch from the iPhone due to compatibility issues. So that kind of a two-way street, making sure that I can easily use my watches that I want to and continue using the Apple Watch if I don't want to use the iPhone. That's why they don't call it the Why is it every device Apple has is the I except the watch? Because iWatch is creepy. I got the iWatch. That hidden focus group. Hey, we got the iPad, we got the iPhone, we got the iWatch. No, that's bad. Probably some poor intern doesn't work there anymore, but they go, we had to fire her. She had to say it, but that's a valid point. All right. The iWatch. That's what the iTag should be called. The AirTag, that should be called the iWatch. All right. Blocking third-party developers from creating competing digital wallets. So again, they're getting into the epic fight. So they are suing on those various bases. I don't know exactly what to think about this one, so we'll leave it there and see what happens with it down the road. Well, if you want to help support the channel, we do have a shop. You can pick up this cool fancy hat right here, or coffee cups, mouse pads, all sorts of other fun stuff over on shop.switchedtolinux.com. You can go ahead and head on over there if you want to pick up a t-shirt, or even you could even get a baby onesie with an alien on it. That'll mess with your mother-in-law, won't it? Like, oh my Lord, what is that thing on? Here's another one of the hats. This is a different variation of the hat. And then we have hoodies. I'll be buying a new hoodie when I get back into town because mine has survived 3 years on the road at van life. So there you go. I do have my shopping bag is still in really good shape. So you got that as well. All right, guys, let's head on over to your favorite place and mine. Let's see what is up with SillyVille. Oh boy, folks. Oh boy. This first story here has been controversially weird. And I am of two opinions on it. You see, we used to have this thing that my mother would call the dumb clerk special. You go into a store, you see something that's super expensive, and you take up to the cash register, and they actually mark it down 90%, and you walk away with a $100 item at $10. should you correct them on that issue or not? There certainly are some moral issues and things. But what's going on here is a woman found that she had this rewards card. If you swept it through the machine twice, it would put the machine into demo mode and the machine would just dispense gas for free. Obviously, it is a serious problem. If I go in and I see the gas is dispensing without charging for it in this economy, I don't know, I might really be questioning my ethics here, but I would certainly go in and be like, hey, this thing is not actually taking money, apparently. Let's look into this. That's what one should do morally. Now, legally, what is the situation? Now, if it is true, and I did hear that from one perspective, Steve Lato has covered this, she says that she got this particular card from an individual person who gave it to her and told her swipe it twice and it'll put it in a demo mode and you get free gas. Now, if she has given that card with that intention to intentionally defraud a gas station, utilizing the system, it might be grounds. But the problem is she's not hacking the machine, nor did she mess with that club card. The programmer is the one who messed it up and accidentally deployed code that if you swipe the card, so not just this woman's special card, if anybody took their card and swiped it twice, they also would get free gas. Now, if that is the case, then I'm sorry, the programmer whom you hired to do the gas pump is probably the one liable for the damages legally. But again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just musing over the craziness and the insanity of this circumstance. Now, the one spot I completely agree is criminal is she accepts money, $500 from somebody to use the card in which the person allegedly pumps $700 worth of gas. Now, the weird thing is they said the card is used 510 times, 74,000 gallons of gas in only a few months. I have no earthly idea how somebody goes through that much gas. I don't think a cross-country trucker would go through that much gas in a few months' time. I don't know, but we have some truckers in here. Let me know. $28,000 of gas, 7,400 gallons of gas. You professional truckers in my audience, how long would that last you? I'm really wanting to know. So I am of certain opinions. Obviously, I completely agree it is morally wrong to not report this to the gas station, but does it fall to the level of crime, being is that she is not the one who deployed faulty code. She is not the one who manipulated a card. She just found a trick that it took the gas station several months to figure out. Hard to say, but she was arrested and she was released, and the court case is going on April 11th. So hopefully we get a follow-up on this and we'll see what the court cases actually say. And maybe we'll get some discovery. We'll get a little bit more clarity about who discovered, what was the purpose and things. A lot of it does boil down to intention. If she intentionally knew it was going to do this, I do find it more legally dubious than she discovered it would do this and just kept doing it. Especially in our current economy, because if you haven't been driving around the country, gas is expensive. So very interesting story there. And this is great here. I'm going to have to reload this page because the stupid auto-playing video has reset itself. But there is now a new privacy law in California whereby... Would you stop? I hit pause for a reason, you stupid browser. So California, this is kind of like reminiscent. We covered this a couple of months ago. Toronto said you couldn't post videos of porch pirates stealing your stuff because of their privacy rights. So you're worried about the privacy rights of the people stealing my property from my porch. No, I think we should put them all out faster on the internet so we can find them, get back our things, and prosecute them. Okay. Well, California, because it is California and it is 2024, decided to go absolutely insane and pass another law saying you can't publish the faces of criminals because they have privacy rights too. Now, the rest of you guys don't have any rights, but these criminals, I swear you have to be a criminal in this country anymore to actually have any rights. So what they started to do is releasing any video of criminals, they simply started putting Lego heads on. Look at this nonsense. This is And I love that I love the heads that they chose for these people. Oh, by the way, okay, hold on. Not this one. No, come on. Back to the beginning. Oh, it's not doing it right. Okay, let me go back to this one. Look at this. This is clearly a black guy, and you're putting a white head on the guy. This should be a black Lego head, not a white Lego head. Okay, guys, get it right. You are whitewashing this poor man. Okay, we need to be spending our resources on things other than replacing criminals' faces with Lego heads. They're criminals, okay? Maybe as criminals, they should have some rights taken away because they're involved in nonsense. Would this thing stop? Like, how many times do you have to push the stupid stop button on this thing? But yes, they are now replacing... No, I don't want that crap either. They are now replacing criminals' heads with Lego pieces because it's 2024, folks. Did you expect anything else was going to happen? I mean, really? Oh, boy. Well, if you want to help support the channel, we do have a Patreon page, patreon.com/TOMM. You can jump on over there to Patreon. We also have a Subscribestar page, subscribestar.com/switchtolinux. And we also have a locals page at switchtolinux.locals.com. It does not matter which one you would like to support on. All of them do get the same perks. We have short stories, which I will hopefully have that next audiobook out. Like last month's was delayed, and then I had a perfect voice, and I came here to Roanoke, and now I lost my voice again. So whatever that was worth. But I will get that next audiobook out shortly. The text was put up last week for the latest short story of this month. And with that, though, you can help support the channel, and we also have the Thursday shows. You can participate in the live portion or the off-air portion as well. With that, guys, thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.